Alright, this is SAM Project 1A or SAM 2 for some colleges. It is also known as Maxwell Training, and it just focuses on formula auditing, data validation, and just solving Excel problems. And before you start, just make sure that the author name is your name on cell B6 and that you rename the file and place a 2 at the end. And so you're changing the 1 to 2. And also make sure to add this thing called solver add-in, and you can do this by heading to file, or you can just head to the search bar and just search up add-ins, and it should show up here, and just tick the box on solver add-in and hit OK. Okay, so let's just start with the project. This is going to be like a speed run of the project. So we're going to head over to blended training worksheet. It says and it says use trace precedence to find the source of the value error in cell F7. So F7 is here, and we have to use trace precedence. So in order to get there, you would go to formulas and hit trace precedence up here, and so it tells you kind of where the error is coming from and what it's calculating. So we need to fix this by moving cell F2 up here to F3, enter, and that's fixed. And then if the trace arrow is still there, you can just hit remove arrow up here and it will remove the arrow. So yeah, that's step 1. And then step 2, it says correct a name error in B21. B21 is down here, so use any error checking method and correct the error. So I mean, we don't really need to use the error checking. You can see that there's an add sign here in the formula, and there shouldn't be an add sign, so just delete that and hit enter and accept the correction. And that's basically step 2. Step 3, evaluate the formula in B17. So B17, there's a divide by 0 error, and it's caused because it's dividing B8, which has nothing in the cell. So we're gonna move this up to minimum trainees, which is cell B5, which is asked for. And so we're gonna drag this cell in the formula, just copy the formula and just paste it across to F17. And this cell still has divide by 0 error, but let's see. Okay, yeah, we're going to fix this in the following steps. Okay, number 4, set a data validation rule for the range B5 to F5. Okay, so data validation, in order to do that, you have to go to data and then hit this little thing here. So I have Excel minimized, but if you have it full screen, it would say data validation. But it's this thing, hit the drop down, and then data validation. So it's asking for whole number values greater than 0. So we want whole number greater than 0. Hit OK. Or not OK yet. You need to do the input message as well. So let's copy the title for the input message. Just copy the title here. And then the input message should be this. And then the error alert, do the same thing. Make sure the style is stop. So trainees error will be the title, and then the minimum number of trainees must be greater than 0 is the error message. Hit OK. It says number of trainees is still there. Okay. It says circle the invalid data in the worksheet. So just hit the data validation tool, circle invalid data. So invalid data is down here, but it's coming from this 0 in cell C5. So let's just type in 15 as the minimum number of trainees up here. So just type 15, enter, and that should solve it. And because there's no longer an error or divide by 0 error, and so we can remove the validation circle. So click this, and we're moving on to step 6. So it says go to tutorial fees worksheet, so it should be the one right next to it. The worksheet, yeah. Use max attendance as a scenario name. So we have to add a scenario, and in order to do that, we have to go to what if analysis. So let's click that and then hit scenario manager, and we have to add a scenario. So the scenario name is max attendance. It's going to be max attendance. The cells should be B to F8, so that's correct. And then hit OK. And you should get this little table and just input all the values that are in this table. So the cell values for the max attendance scenario, just type in all these values: 24, 8, 32, 24, 32. Hit OK. Then we are also going to add another scenario. So we're going to add scenario name will be low attendance here in step 7. Range B to F8, that's correct. Hit OK. And this table should pop up again. And then just type in the values from this table. Transfer the values to here. So 10, 2, 16, 10, 15. Hit OK. And we're going to go to step 8. And step 8 says show the low attendance scenario. So low attendance, we want to hit show. So show enter, and then that's it. We close this for now. Oops, close this for now. And then we go to news fees worksheet. Okay, so in the new fees worksheet, we want to create a scenario summary. Okay, a scenario summary report. Okay, so we're gonna do scenario manager again, and we want to report. So select range B10 to F10 first. So B10 to F10 is here. Then we want to do scenario manager summary. And then hit OK. We get this new table, or this new spreadsheet, worksheet, whatever, and just rename it to new fees scenario report and hit enter. And that is our step 9. So moving on to step 10. So step 10, we need to create a scenario pivot table. So creating a scenario pivot table is the same thing. So just go to scenario manager. Make sure you hit summary. Select the cells B10 to F10, and we need to create a pivot table. So hit scenario pivot table report here. Hit OK, and you can access out. And format the cells in B4 to F6. So B4 to F6 should be here. And just format it so that it uses the accounting number format with 0 decimal places and the dollar symbol. Okay, so in order to do that, just go to home, click this drop down, hit accounting, and then press these to decrease decimals. Okay, and we're gonna move on to step 11. So step 11 says go to the webinars worksheet. Webinars worksheet is the last worksheet, I think. Yeah. Okay, we have to use the solver now. So the solver is in data, and it should be in the top right. So hit solver. We want to use the total weekly profit as the objective. So cell G16 is over here, G16. And then the changing variable cells are from B4 to F5. So B4 to F5. Let's do that. And then we need to add subject solver constraints, basically. So in order to do that, let's press add. And the cell reference, we're going to look at the solver constraints on this table. So the first one is each webinar is scheduled at least once on Tuesday and once on Thursday. cell B4 to F5. So B4 to F5 is up here. Let me just B4 to F5 here. So at least once, which means should be greater than or equal to 1. Click add. Then we're gonna go down. Each Tuesday and Thursday webinar value is an integer. So same thing, B4 to F5 should be an integer. So int add. Each type of webinar is scheduled 1 time per week or more. So B6 to F6. B6 to F6 should be scheduled 1 time per week or more, so greater than or equal to 1. Add. Each type of webinar is scheduled 3 times per week or less. So that should be here. B6 to F6. Less than or equal to 3. Hit add. Total number of Tuesday webinars is 5 or less. So total Tuesday webinars is over here, cell G4. And it should be less. So 5 or less. So constraint should be 5. Then total number of Thursday webinars is $15 or 15 or less. So cell reference should be a G5, and then should be less than or equal to 15. Add. The total number of webinars per week is 13. So total weekly webinars is cell G6, and should be equal to 13. Add. The total number of Tuesday consultations is 2 or less. So consultations on Tuesdays are down here, D20. So cell D20 should be less than or equal to 2. Add. Cell reference for Thursday consultations is cell D21. So hit that, and it should be 2 or less as well. So less than or equal to 2. Add. And then total consultations is on cell D22. So cell D22 should be less than or equal to 5. Add. And that's basically all your solver constraints. So hit OK, or just hit cancel, and it should give you this table. Just double check and make sure that all of these constraints are correct, and that all the symbols and values and constraints are correct. And then once you have this, you can move on to D, which is to use simplex LP as a solving method. So you want to go here, right, and change this to simplex LP, and you want to load and save. So press this here. You want to load it. You want to load this in A26, cell A26. So or save it. So save it there, and then solve the model, keeping the solver solution. So we want to solve this. So hit solve, and then keep solver solution, which is what it says. So keep everything here and hit OK. And then cell or step 12, you want to solve the model again. So solve the model again. Basically, we go to what if analysis, scenario manager, or solver, not what if analysis. We're going to solver, and then so we want to solve this again. So hit, nothing needs to be changed, so just hit solve, and then change this to answer. Answer reports. Under reports, press answer and hit OK. It should give you a new page here. It should give you a new worksheet with all the answer reports, and you should use webinar answer report as the name of the worksheet. So rename this to webinar answer report, hit enter, and just double check and make sure that all the numbers are correct if you want. Honestly, it probably is correct, and it's probably a better use of time to just submit if you still have 3 chances to submit your project. But yeah, that is basically it. And yeah, this is the project. You can submit it. Just make sure everything in the introduction is followed and completed, and you should get 100.